Dude, I'm excited. Well, I did get, like, obviously the Western vibe, and the movie, The Cat Baloo, is kind of a Western. I feel like we have a theme going right now. I think we should keep it. Cat Baloo! I forgot about that.
Are we recording? Okay.
In a world
Where
tomorrow's blockbusters reign
and yesterday's classics are forgotten,
3 women intend to remember. Hey everyone, welcome to Millennials at the Movie House, the podcast where your average Janes watch older movies and answer the question we put to ourselves. Are they still relevant and should we still be watching them today? I'm Betsy.
I'm Tracy.
And I'm Serena.
We are once again coming to you from social distancing, self-quarantining houses, so Serena still sounds like that, but we're making it work.
I am a robot.
She is the ghost in the machine right now.
So today we are talking about Westworld, 1973, written and directed by Michael Crichton, starring Yul Brynner, Richard Benjamin, James Brolin. Tracy, synopsis, go. Oh my God, Tracy, are you kidding me?
All right.
1 year later, still hasn't picked up on it.
Westworld. Okay. It's a futuristic society where for $1,000 a day, you can go on vacation into a world made up of robots. They have, but a very realistic world. So you could do whatever you want, from killing somebody to drinking to going to a brothel. No rules. Everything is good. They have safety measures where, like, you can't actually hurt any of the other guests and the robots can't hurt you. So enter 2 guys. One guy just is getting over a divorce, and his friend, I think who's been there before, is like, here, we need to go on vacation to let you, and they go to Westworld, which is the old Wild West. Mm-hmm. As the plot, progresses, we realize that the robots are breaking down, not responding, and things just go from bad to worse, where the robots start actually hurting guests and killing them. They start evolving. So that's that. And I think, as most people know, this is what the basis of the TV show Westworld is based on.
Sorry, I don't know how you picked up 1,000 a day, but I'm glad you did, because I missed that part.
Yeah, in fact, funny you say that, because the entire time I'm like, $1,000 is actually pretty affordable for this. Like, nowadays. Like,
right.
Obviously it wouldn't be $1,000 nowadays.
Right, for a week, and it looked like, room and board, pleasures.
Yeah.
And because the madam was like, you go on ahead, we'll settle our debts later. Which I don't know. I feel like that's not real. I feel like they'd want payment up front, but that's just... So I think everything was included. Yeah.
Yeah, all included.
Serena, you were concerned with, like, when it took place, and Betsy, I think you astutely said that they're being very vague about when it was.
Yeah. Because
it was just kind of future.
Yeah.
But clearly a 70s future where the hair, the mustaches, the smoking,
Oh, yeah.
But there was a lot of stuff that definitely showed time in real time, 70s. Like, It was obviously, but it wasn't placed in the 70s.
Right.
Right. It was future.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. Generalized future.
Yes.
Can we go back to that it was both written and directed by Michael Crichton, who we know him for novels.
Yeah.
Most specifically, I think Jurassic Park was probably his most famous one.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And you said at one point you were getting Jurassic Park vibe.
Yes. It was a theme park that went awry, that kind of, took over.
I think I saw in the trivia that Michael Crichton, the idea came to him when he was on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disneyland.
It's kind of like Jurassic Park.
Yes. I mean, it's Michael Crichton.
Well, right. No, I know, but like...
Yeah.
Life finds a way.
It's an amusement park that
breaks down and like...
They even reference Pirates of the Caribbean in Jurassic Park. Of course they do.
They do?
Yeah, except when Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't kill the.
That's right.
It all started with Disney, guys.
Yep.
As per usual.
Which I see influences of everything in that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Also, fun fact, Michael, because I was like, oh, I didn't realize that Michael Crichton directed. Like, I could see him doing screenplays, but I didn't realize he was directing. He also did the screenplay for Twister.
Did he?
I love Twister.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
That's actually one of my favorite.
I grew up watching Twister and, like, obviously movies like Jurassic Park. I'd have to get his full filmography. I probably have, like, a secret love affair for him, and I just didn't realize.
He was a very prolific writer, and it seemed like his thing, that one element that you see science working on, but we haven't gotten there yet. And what happens if we get there? Mm-hmm. Like, even Twister has that element of that new cutting edge technology.
Yep.
What happens if we get there?
Yeah. And then it's not, even in Twister, it's not so much person against person, it's person against the environment.
Nature.
And there is that bad guy.
Yeah.
But it's really against the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I approve.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look at maybe more of his novels or movies.
Yeah. Well, because you remember how I said Andromeda Strain was one of the movies I was considering? That's him too.
Yeah. Yep.
Huh. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, anyway. Bring it back. How did everyone like it? Westworld. The movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it.
I had some issues that we can talk about, but overall, I liked and I can understand why they made a TV show out of it, because the concept I love.
Yeah.
It's
so solid.
There. It's
really is.
That's actually one of my top notes was, well, it's in another one, but it's the concept. I discussed the concept because the concept, that's why I asked if this was like one of those, like, because it's 73, like first of its kind.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious, because there's so many other what you would call, maybe not exactly spin-offs, but shows and movies based on the concept.
Yep.
Of fantasy, robot, sci-fi type, crazy different world.
Yeah.
And I personally love shows with this concept, so.
Yeah.
Although iRobot scared me a little.
And I feel like they used what they had at their disposal to the best of their ability.
Yes.
They didn't,
definitely.
All the robots were just regular actors.
Yep.
They didn't try to, like, fake anything. But the makeup was still really good. Like, when they take his face off, that was so
really good.
Effective.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. And, like, realistic. Mm-hmm. And, like, I definitely didn't want to take my eyes off the screen because I didn't want to miss anything, because I was, like, not edge of my seat, but I was just, like, very, like, involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, engaged. Did you guys haven't seen this movie before?
No.
But Trace, you saw Westworld.
Yes, a long time ago I watched season 1 of Westworld. Yes.
I feel like a lot of people did watch Westworld. I only caught like a glimpse or so of the trailers. So
yeah, and I wanted to watch this because they're like vamping up. I think by the time this airs, it's already been airing. I think it's season 3.
Yeah.
So they're advertising like crazy for it right now.
And how does this compare to that?
The concept is there, and I think like the beginning ideas, and it's like that, like there's a bad guy that nobody can kill type thing.
Yeah.
But then so one of the flaws of this was there was no ending. There was no explanation.
Yeah.
And what I remember of the TV show is they start to explain that. They start to go into that and more of the, like, Yeah.
I could see this being a really good pilot for a show.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
And actually, I think there was a very short-lived show after this movie came out.
Oh, okay.
But obviously, we have a better version now. So.
Well, yeah, and it almost, like you said, it did use what they had to their ability. Mm-hmm. And the effects were good, but not as good as they are now. So
Right.
Yeah, I think it can only go uphill from here. But then for a 1973 movie, I was still pretty impressed because like your expectations I mean, even just in the last, like, 20 years, movies have come such a long way.
Yeah. There were
but to go
definitely moments.
way the heck back, what is this, almost 50 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh my
right?
God, yeah.
So that's a long time, or 20, not 47 years ago?
Yeah.
Right?
That hurt.
It does.
That
'Cause
hurt a lot.
I'm like friends with people who were born in the 70s.
There were definitely moments in the movie where I forgot that I was watching a 73 movie. Like,
Yes, because I had said that it looked like a bad 70s with the smoking and that kind of thing, but once you were in Westworld, because it was a period piece, it was fine. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was getting, like, if you guys were to put this movie on and me not have any background information, I would have placed it in, like, the 80s.
Yeah,
Yep.
Same here.
Like, maybe early to mid 80s.
Yep.
So.
Okay, let's jump into the questions.
Woohoo!
We haven't even gotten to the questions yet, guys.
Yeehaw!
Top of the marquee. What was everyone's favorite part? Serena, go.
Trace, do you want to go?
All right. This was hard because there really wasn't any dialogue. It was a lot of action. There was nothing was poignant. It was just about the plot, which I did like. It's the concept. It was the plot that I enjoyed.
So the concept was your favorite part?
No.
Okay.
My favorite part was John, who was our beautiful James Brolin.
Yes.
Who
He's a gorgeous man.
He is a gorgeous man. One.
Sure is.
And it was specifically his acting. And not anything he said, but just his whole demeanor, anything he did. I was engaged. He was doing it well. I believed him. Specifically, the hangover moment when he got up, like,
and he had to keep his hands on the ground until he
got up off
his
the
feet was
floor,
under him.
like orient himself, like balance himself, and then him try to find his hat. It was just like
you were there.
You were there. I was there for it.
Guy.
I appreciated his acting, and I'm like, he didn't have to say a single word, and I was there.
And his good acting made the other guy's bad acting all the worse.
It really
because
did.
it wasn't even that bad acting. It was just very 70s acting, whereas James Brolin was just doing his thing.
Yeah.
Like, very realistic.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's
he had a very cool vibe about him.
Oh, yeah.
That I of course was picking up all kinds of different actors in terms of, like, reminding me. It looks like the guy from Star Wars, the old one. Like Han Solo-y.
Brolin kind of looks like Christian Bale a little bit.
Yes!
Oh, yes!
Wait, the guy that was sitting by the window?
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
Oh my God, he does!
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Absolutely, that's who it is. That's the familiar face.
Like
I can't unsee it now.
Like Christian Bale could do him better than his own son.
Yes, absolutely.
The dad from Little House on the Prairie.
Yes!
It's the hair.
Yes!
It's the hair.
I don't know. He had a very, like, I don't know, even like, what's that movie? Come on, the DeLorean, Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, yeah.
I was getting, like, the cool guy vibe from him. I don't know.
The bad guy.
Oh, thank
Biff?
you. I'm like, who? He's not Marty McFly.
Definitely not.
We were, I mean, I think the movie was on for all of 2 minutes, and all three of us were like, who's that hottie? Yeah. Like, we were,
we zoned in on him. But because of that, his death was very effective and very surprising.
Yeah, it was.
I actually thought he was our main character.
Yeah.
I genuinely did not realize that Peter was our main character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed when they killed him, and I was like, well, if I wasn't doing a podcast, I would have turned this shit off.
I mean, even when he was shot the first time, I feel like he was shocked. He was like, I'm shot.
I'm shot. All right, Serena, what was your favorite part?
Something that just made me laugh. I just wrote them both down. Well, I didn't write them both down, but the goofy guy, the banker.
I don't remember.
The first scene, he's like looking at himself in the mirror, and like pretending to shoot
Yes.
the gun, and so that made me laugh. And then trying to get back in the door when he's announced his new new slogan song. I was like, is this guy for real? It was just so funny.
Yep.
If I am thinking of the right guy, I think he's actually like a really well-known comedian actor.
I'd believe that.
Dick Van
definitely.
Patten.
Okay.
Because I've definitely heard his name before, and the only other thing I know him from is Robin Hood Men in Tights. So yeah, he's.
What movie did we
And
watch
Spaceballs.
where there was that other side? It was a comedic side character, and I don't think he said a word. He just was funny. We definitely watched something where
I feel like we always pick out those guys.
And I think you were like, yeah, he's like a famous like silent actor. That's why he hasn't said much or something like that.
Oh.
Maybe not. But we've definitely had those actors. Yeah.
Yeah, we've definitely had those actors.
So what's your favorite?
My favorite part was their choice to make the eyes silver.
Okay.
The way that they did the eyes, it was so simple, but it was so effective. It was our way of knowing that they were robots, but it was just like visually, they were very striking.
But they weren't there at first because
Right.
didn't they have a hard time picking out who was real and who wasn't?
Yeah,
And it was
that's
like
what I
an
was
upgrade,
thinking.
wasn't it?
Well, but that's what Serena, you called it out. I think you were the one who said that was what was going to tell us which robots were malfunctioning.
Oh, okay.
Which
yes.
I think is correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
That's right,
confused at
because-
first, and then
Who was it?
the
Daphne?
silver.
Daphne had
Yep.
the silver eyes, yeah. And then the robot at the end had the chicken, the dungeon had the silver eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Who was not Daphne? Come to find out. They all
Yeah, I was sure it was
all
Daphne,
70s
and I was
chicks look
like,
the same.
was she supposed to be Daphne?
No,
And-
I don't think so. Like, there's 2 different credits on IMDb. Yeah.
And then the guy tries to give her water and short circuits her.
Right, I feel like that's a pretty big flaw in the robots in
Yeah,
this movie,
yeah.
was that they're not waterproof.
Maybe they just couldn't ingest it.
Oh, maybe. All right, we'll give them a benefit of the doubt on that. All right, ladies, please remove your hats and silence your cell phones. Aspects that did and did not age well.
I would say the effects are both good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
They were limited, but what they did well.
Mm-hmm.
So they worked, you know.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I think that the practical effects were fantastic. They held up.
Yep.
The same way that Jurassic Park's
Yes.
visual practical effects hold up. Actually, their special effects hold up well.
Yeah.
But the thing that really just was so 70s more than anything else was the computer technology.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Were you
Yep.
the hair?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're right. The computer.
Because I feel like that's the only thing that you can't fake.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they knew that, in the future our computers would be significantly better, but they didn't have the ability to fake their way through that.
Yeah.
So you just have to deal with, very 70s technology when you're in the
but
control room.
just like bigger and like more lights.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed because I did watch the trailer, and that stood out to me. I'm like, oh wow, we're still in DOS mode. FYI.
Yeah.
So we've already talked about the concept. I definitely think that the concept it's in of itself aged well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's still very, very current, which is probably why Westworld's so popular.
Yes.
The current one.
I agree with you, except for the fact that I feel like if this movie, I can't speak towards the show. If this movie was made nowadays, I feel like the robots wouldn't have been defeated. They would have successfully gotten out, and there would have been more sympathy towards the robots.
So along those lines, I think the thing that didn't age well was the storytelling here, which it isn't the concept. It's we've had this before with older movies where we don't like the ending because there is no ending. And I think it's just because we're so accustomed to having movies now explain everything, give us a reason, give us an answer. And there wasn't. Like, we never got the answer of why they were malfunctioning or what was going wrong. Are they going to fix it? Are the robots, did they get out? Were they going to rise? Why are they rising?
No closure, total cliffhanger. Not my favorite. When it comes to that stuff makes me mad. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Well, I need answers.
Exactly.
Which actually is interesting because those questions were answered in Jurassic Park. I almost feel like this was, a stage in Michael Crichton's development of this story type, because we got all those answers in Jurassic Park.
We did.
Aspects that did and did not age well. Here we go. The Westworld set did age well.
Yes.
The medieval set did not age well.
Did not. It looked like a
It looked
horrible children's play.
Not to bring it back
Wait,
again.
which one? Which
The
one?
Roman or the castle?
The medieval.
Yeah.
Not to bring it back yet again to this, but it reminded me of Men in Tights.
Yes, where it was like a farce.
Yeah. It was very like costumey but like cheap costumes and like obvious sets and
Where you're right, Westworld was very real. You bought it, yeah.
And I don't think that was purposeful. And like I said, I think I said it during the movie, was West in historically speaking, the Old West, the Wild West was recent in comparison. Okay. So that was I think that was it. I think that was all I had for this section. I think in general it did hold up, and there weren't, like I said, there weren't a lot of moments where I was like, "Oh my god, that is so 70s."
Yeah.
Except when you're not in Westworld or medieval world.
And really, except for the non-ending, I thought it was solid. And I feel like I heard that because of the Westworld TV show that they were like, "Oh, it's so much better than the movie," and I would think that the movie was crap. So I wanted to see this movie, but I kind of thought that I would be like, "Oh yeah, that is shitty," and it wasn't. It really wasn't.
All right, wait a minute. Aspects that remind you of modern movies. Okay, I think we both all three have like huge lists for this.
Oh, okay, yeah. I feel like I have a couple that you guys might not have.
Same here.
Okay.
So Serena, you go first.
You say one, and then we'll each...
Oh, God.
Yeah, you say one, Serena.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want me to go on and on. I have like 10.
All right, well, let me guess. Sound of Music, Wizard of Oz.
She knows me so well. Actually, none of those, but Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka is on your list.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so you started with Willy Wonka. Wait, what was the other one you said? Oh, Little House on the Prairie.
Willy Wonka I only had just because there was 3 worlds in Westworld. Well, Westworld, the other, and what were the other 2?
Roman World, Westworld, Medieval World.
I think it was called Castle World. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, because the guy at the beginning was like, "Yeah, I just came from Castle."
Yeah.
Just nicknamed it on his own.
So yeah, the only reason I associated Willy Wonka was because obviously the factory has all those different rooms, and it's like mini worlds within the main building type. I don't know. It's kind of, I was just getting that vibe.
Well, you said it at the beginning,
it's like the fantasy.
Sorry.
The fantasy vibe,
Yeah.
You said it at the beginning when they're on the plane getting there, and it did feel like very much that introduction to the factory in Willy Wonka. Definitely the same feel. I got you.
I'm glad I'm not going crazy. Thanks for validating my weird feelings.
No problem.
All right. I got
Ex Machina.
With the girl, and you don't know if she's a robot or not, but she's got real feelings. It was just it's very like AI and what that means basically.
Okay, everything you're saying is just like Dollhouse to me.
Yeah.
Everything.
Definitely.
It's crazy because you're reminding me of stuff from Dollhouse that I haven't seen. I mean, I don't even know what year that was. What, 2010 came out or something? Like somewhere in there. I don't even know. Like stuff that I haven't seen in a decade. You're like reminding me, oh yeah, they wiped them. Remember they wiped them?
Yeah.
And I don't mean like with Lysol wipes.
Okay. Yeah, they're definitely, I'm sure that Joss Whedon saw this movie, used it as inspiration for Dollhouse. Definitely.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
Because like even you were saying, the basement corridor scenes, that was totally the Dollhouse. Yeah.
It was. I was like, oh my god, wait a minute, pause, and fast forward 35 years, 73 to 2010, whatever that was, 40, fast forward 37 years. It's crazy, and it's crazy to see like these movies in a way coming full circle with some of these shows and series, because it's like and new movies even. It's like, think about that person, Joss or whoever, anyone who, whoever who made iRobot, whoever it was saw this movie too.
Oh, well, so iRobot, it was 2004. That was based on
Isaac Asimov's novels.
Right.
From the 50s. So that was first, obviously.
Oh, okay.
It also reminded me of Blade Runner.
Yes, I can see that. Yep.
And it was like, can you tell if someone's artificial or not?
Yeah.
Do they know that they're artificial?
Yes.
And you kind of have that they don't know that they are, and you have the robots testing robots type, conundrum.
Yep.
Spoilers.
Yep. Good call.
Listen, no spoilers. If someone hasn't seen Blade Runner, that's on them.
Statute
Okay,
of limitations
2020.
has passed on Blade Runner. I wrote down, okay, listen. So I have been marathoning Star Trek The Next Generation. So
this is just her COVID, project.
Yeah, it is. It's good background, whatever. Anyway, anytime they're in the holodeck, that is this movie.
Yes.
So there was definitely heavy holodeck vibes specifically for Star Trek. It doesn't help that I just watched one of those episodes.
Isn't Data a robot?
Right. So Data was I wrote Data down. So here's one of my notes. We're gonna just
go ahead.
Because we started talking about the concept of when do we consider something to be sentient or deserve the term life.
Yep.
And I think that that's a concept that we deal with in modern movies a lot, and which is why I said in the last question, I feel like this would have ended differently had it been made today.
Yep.
Because we assign human emotion to inanimate objects more readily nowadays. Yep. And I wrote down, Data from Next Generation, Isaac from the Orville. Just like we have those characters now who are good guys, but they're not biological.
Human. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like the questions have advanced, or developed. We kind of have new questions surrounding robots and androids.
Nowadays, we kind of push it more in your face. For example, this Westworld, we have Daphne, who is, the sexy girl, like that. She's the maid that this lord, who's the guest, who's an actual human, was like, hey, you're sexy. I said something I think is charming, so now you have to sleep with me. And she malfunctions and slaps him and walks away. And the guys, like behind the scenes, the guys are like, hey, she's a sex doll. She should accept all advances or whatever. In Westworld, they have several characters like that. And they very much say, like, no, we're being raped.
Yeah.
We don't want this.
Yep.
Even if we're programmed to, type of thing where they're very forward about that, where for a fact that this robot doesn't want to do this.
Yep.
Whereas this was kind of just hey, she's programmed, and then it wiped it away. Where nowadays they would be like, throw it at you.
Well, but that's just exactly it. Is the robot, the artificial life, deserves to have that protection.
Right.
Yeah. Other things that reminded me of Jurassic Park. Obviously, we've been talking about that the whole time, and again, I think that Jurassic Park is just a continuation of this concept. I feel like Michael Crichton just like thought through it a little bit more and was like, oh, okay, let's do another amusement park with more, But I mean, obviously, Jurassic Park is an absolute classic, so it works.
Mm-hmm. That has an ending. That has a full story arc. That has everything.
They explain what's happening, why it's happening.
Going back to what did and did not age well, it goes to the storytelling. Did we discuss this already? Where all of the side plots, like the sheriff, had no ending.
Right.
Like, what the hell happened to him? And the guys, like, every once in a while, we would go to the medieval world or the Roman world. And there were characters that they had introduced at the beginning, but had no plot.
Right.
No, like, we didn't care what was
or even like the technicians were locked in the room. Did they get out?
Right. Like there was no follow through.
I was wondering about that. Where did the doctors go?
Right.
Like it almost would have been better if they had just, what was he, the gunslinger, if they just showed the gunslinger getting behind the scenes and then ended it. So you kind of like had this ominous feeling of yep, he's won now.
That's what I was expecting to happen.
Like, I would rather have had not a bad ending, the bad guy win ending than a no ending.
Well, and it also doesn't help that our hero, quote unquote hero, was just useless.
He was so horrible.
So useless.
And the whole time I thought our hero was Christian Bale lookalike.
I know.
Right.
And once he got killed, I'm like, I don't know if I'm still in on this movie right now, guys.
Yeah. Oh, right. So, that was something else that didn't age well, was our hero, because I mentioned it. The Peter was a 70s hero, and John was a modern day hero. I feel like, just like in terms of physicality, in terms of character, like Peter was annoying and just ugh, whereas John was
I thought Peter was like high for the first like quarter of the movie.
Right? I thought he was a stranger, and you were like,
I actually didn't think he was a character. In the first scene, I thought he was just the neighbor on the airplane for James Brolin to kind of work off of for a scene.
Yeah.
But then he just stayed with James Brolin, and I'm like, oh, okay.
And that's not to say that I don't like the underdog hero.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't have to be strong, he doesn't have to be good looking to be a hero, but he was whiny, and he was a
coward.
He was a coward. He didn't step up. Like, as soon as, like, I could believe it or accept him up until the fact that his friend dies, and he just looks at the bad guy and runs away. Mm-hmm. You are in gunslinger, like, territory. How did you not, and you've killed this guy 3 times already, how did you not just get your gun and shoot him back?
Yeah.
Like, and he just kept running and whining to everybody along the way. Like, and there was a couple of smart moments when he got underground, but there was no, I don't know. It was all like dumb luck or something.
It was.
Yeah, we're not rooting for him.
Yeah, no, we were not. And by that point, we were like, can we just root for the gunslinger?
Right, right.
Is that okay? But apparently it was not. And does it, any other movies that this reminds you of, guys?
Humans on BBC was a TV show that was basically like this.
Humans.
I really liked that one.
I blame you for getting that one canceled.
I know. Every time I love a show, it starts to get canceled.
It does.
AI with Jude Law and what's his face? Yep. Of course, we've mentioned iRobot, Terminator. Serena, I don't think you actually mentioned it, but you said it a bunch of times during while we were watching.
Yeah, I have it written down here, but I didn't want to like hog all of this section.
It's okay. We'll allow it.
Okay. So I had another thought that I was like, what if this was all part of the plan and then they take these dead bodies and make them robots? Like, that would have been good too, right?
Yeah, I would have loved that. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Like the last scene should have been his friend with silver eyes coming at him.
That was actually something I had a tiny question about, going back when they were the love making scene with right in the beginning with what's her name, right towards the last part of the scene, her eyes turned silver, but they weren't silver before.
Yeah. Oh.
And I was thinking about that, and I was wondering, I'm like, was she just violated, and did she get feelings of evolved human being
I
feelings,
feel like that,
right?
Wow. That mind blown.
Yeah.
Mind blown, right?
Yeah, that like moved that like into a different level, because before it was fine, and then as soon as her eyes turned silver, it wasn't.
Yep.
Damn, Serena.
And it was kind of like evolved robots, and I actually didn't think about it until you guys were kind of saying like their eyes turn silver, and I'm like, yeah, thinking about that and thinking back to that scene.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's the same thing with Dollhouse. You get this vibe, and it's like, well, what they're doing is wrong, because we're viewing them as humans, and they have feelings and emotions, even though they're robots. And so, what they're doing is wrong. And like, it's on so many levels. And of course, I'm comparing it to Dollhouse, but that's why it's like, I couldn't stop watching it, because it was like so effed up.
Yeah.
But like, I couldn't look away, you know?
What did she say when she left the room? I thought you were really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like, she was copying him. He said that to her the night before.
Oh.
So I don't know if she was mimicking him, or if she like was like, yeah, you just raped me, but you know, I thought you were pretty nice. So
Well,
I'll let you live.
maybe she
Sounded
didn't
like-
feel like that. Maybe she really thought he was nice.
But when she said it, it sounded very monotone. So it sounded
Oh.
like she was like reading her script.
Oh, okay. All
You
right.
were very nice.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, one last thing that reminds us of like not movies, but I have here World of Warcraft, like an RPG. Like that's basically what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
That's all.
Well, and that's what. So, we were talking about that during the movie. Was you think that this is going to be the future, and I really think it's going to be virtual reality. I don't know. I can't see us getting to this point. The reason I don't think we would ever get to this point is because of the bar fight scene. Because I know that we got to the snake bite scene and it drew blood and okay, fine, whatever. It's not supposed to do that. But the bar fight scene, they're still getting injured.
Yep.
You could still die from a brain injury, or
Yeah.
you could still get break a leg or whatever like that. You're never gonna guarantee that level of safety.
Yep.
With the
Well, that's the
with
thing.
physical interaction,
Mm-hmm.
which is
And
why I think virtual reality is
Fair.
Okay.
more likely to hit that
And-
point first.
I don't know about the other movies and shows that we've compared this to, but that's exactly what happens in Dollhouse. Sorry, you're gonna have to put the piece together every time I say Dollhouse and just make a mix of it. But they have the watchers or whatever that watch the
Right.
person out on their mission or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and they pull them if it gets too dangerous. But it's like they make a judgment call. But
Right, and I think the Dollhouse's answer to that is, I think there's a legal level to it, like
the waiver
there's going to be a waiver of some sort.
that is a band-aid to that
And
problem. But
the
still,
right, and the Watchers are more there for the protection of the asset, not for the protection of a person.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's that level in Dollhouse that isn't happening here, but still.
yeah, it's still crazy, and the whole concept is crazy, and of course, very intriguing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think that because we are a messed up society, that I think they'll want not flesh and blood, but something to interact with. And yes, there'll probably be stricter rules, and it wouldn't be Westworld. You wouldn't carry guns and you wouldn't get into bar fights, but I could see it as like an RPG game where you would have like adventures and I mean they
Well,
have
we have
those
that
thi-
now.
where you interact with humans and do it too.
Yeah, it's like what's the living museum? It's living museums. That's what they're
Yeah.
called. What's the one? Old Sword Bridge. Right
oh
down the
yeah,
road.
yeah, exactly. So
So yeah, we
Yeah.
have them now. It's just, I mean, but the difference is there in this there's killing and sex.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you know what? You know what's funny? Okay, I didn't write this down, but something that kept popping into my head was The Purge. Because this was where
yeah.
people go for their release.
Yep.
They if you have that need to kill, you
Yep.
went here.
Yep.
And that's The Purge.
Hmm.
All right.
That was a lot, guys.
I'm writing it down. I knew that would be our strong section because I don't know, the entire movie I just kept thinking about all these other shows and movies.
Okay, note roundup. What else do people got?
Okay, let's see. Christian Bale, check.
Yep.
iRobot, check.
Check.
Yes, thank you, Isaac Asimov.
Visuals were good. There was no ending.
Side note, I think I'm going to start calling out montages
Okay, yeah.
because there was a hell of an outfit montage in this one.
There was.
There are two classic montages, outfit montage and workout montage.
Yep.
There was, oh yeah, that's right. Cat Ballou had a workout montage and an
Yes.
outfit montage. It was a
Yep.
combo workout
Yep.
Outfit montage.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep.
how many times do I say montage?
Montage.
Montage.
Oh, I would like to comment on the music.
Okay.
I think it was effective. It was not overtly 70s, and there were
Oh,
there
yeah,
were
you're
a
right.
lot of moments where they refrained from music, and it was very effective. Like the scene where the gunslinger is walking through the laboratory,
Yep.
it was dead silent.
Mm-hmm.
The scene where the gunslinger gets confused by the fire, dead silent until he attacks Peter.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, they were very effective with their use of music. Martini shot. Would you recommend this?
I would.
I said yes.
I actually am gonna say no.
Okay.
Um,
I was on the
Is there
edge, but go ahead,
caveats?
explain if you want.
I think that the pacing of it, the concept is 100% there, but I think the pacing and what it always comes down to for me, the characters
Mhm.
are not what I would want in this concept, and which is makes me want to watch the HBO show because I feel like those things are fixed in that.
They are.
So
yeah.
So this is a rare situation where I'd be like, you know what? Watch the remake. All right, we're gonna be famous. If everyone was cast in the film, who would we be?
Okay. I'll do me for me.
Okay.
I think I would be the new sheriff, the banker.
Oh, I was gonna put that. Damn it! I changed it last minute.
I think I would just be having fun, and then I'd be trying to be sheriff, and I'd have my glasses, and then I would get into a bar fight.
I had that for Serena.
Oh no! Okay, all right.
Yep. So no, Tracy, and I even wrote like, look at this. I wrote. I'm like, I need to explain why she is this person. You're John.
Oh, I'd take it.
Because if you're gonna participate, you're gonna do it right. Like John was like, no, you shoot him. Like obviously.
Yep. Okay.
But you're not gonna do it for yourself. You'll go with a friend, and you will be totally support. Okay, we're gonna do this. Let's do this. But you wouldn't necessarily go on your own.
All right. Okay. Yep. Serena, who did you have for me?
I had the Black Knight because at one point they were talking about the Black Knight, and then I just got in my head, Tracy's here, and I don't know why.
Yeah, is it Black Knight's there? He was there.
Because I just was like, here comes Tracy, like, to save the day or to not save the day. We don't know what side she's going to play.
Is it because you are subconsciously thinking of the Dark Knight? Which is Batman?
That could be it.
Maybe. I know. I had the banker and then I last minute switched it.
I didn't write it down, but I was trying to think. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I had the banker for Serena.
Okay.
Because it was his enthusiasm. That's what it really came down to.
Yep.
He was my favorite character too, so.
Yeah. Yep.
That should count for a quarter point.
Personal wedge.
Okay, I had the cinnamon toast guy.
That's why.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
He was just like, he was behind the scenes.
Wanted the cinnamon toast. I wrote that for myself.
He was behind the scenes doing his job, and he was like, I just want breakfast. I want some eggs. I want some cinnamon toast. I don't,
eggs, bacon, and cinnamon toast. Yeah. And did you hear me talk about it?
Yeah. You were like, oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll have that.
Yeah. Sorry, Betsy.
Betsy.
You had that.
I had that for myself.
And it was why? Because you were just like, I'm done with this shit, and I just want breakfast.
I'm just doing my 9 to 5. Just all right. Can I at least get breakfast out of the deal? Okay, great, fine.
Along those lines, I had for Betsy the repair guy at the end.
I almost put that
because you were like, God damn it, I have to go and fix this thing, but I get a flat tire, which, like, you fixed yourself. Like, you could, you're very, like, and then you're the one, granted, you died. I didn't mean to make you die, but you were the one who gave,
too.
Well, yeah. You were the one that was like, yeah, you couldn't take him out unless you threw acid on his face. And, like, you had all the answers, but you're like, I just have to go fix this thing. Like...
That's okay. I'm okay with giving the answers to the hero.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were like, just
let me do my thing.
The guy on the ATV.
Yeah.
That's funny because for Betsy, I had all doctors / all techs because she knows all things.
Yep. The man behind the curtain.
Yep.
She's literally, I was just going to say, she's running the show. Like, she's the person. Betsy's like the head bitch in charge in this show right now, in this movie. Like, she knows exactly why and how everything works the way and what to do when those things malfunction. Betsy's here.
But I find it interesting that none of us picked the chief supervisor for me. Because he didn't know what was going on.
No,
he was completely out of control.
I feel like in that situation, you would have been like, either no, I'm out, or you
would have stopped it. Like
you would have stopped it exactly.
Yeah,
where he was like, yeah.
The second he was like, "Ooh, another one," I'm like, "Nope, shut that shit down." No,
shut that shit down. Yeah, or was Betsy actually a robot making other robots?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Maybe I was the gunslinger all along.
She's so advanced that she's not.
That's the secret CIA.
I almost put that.
What?
She was the gunslinger. She was the assassin just killing people. She's like, I've had you enough fucking with my world. I'm just going to kill everybody.
Clean it
I
up.
was trying to place who of you two I would put as the gunslinger, and I don't know. I couldn't.
No, I think we did another solid round of.
Wait, Serena, did you say who you were?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh God.
So this is just purely for entertainment. Daphne.
You go, girl.
Yeah, for 2 reasons. Because her boobs were fantastic and I liked them.
Yep.
And secondly, most importantly, boobs. Secondly, because she just like slaps him like.
Yep. Right up slaps him.
Yep.
My lord,
Daphne, my lord, Daphne.
And she
Smack.
rebels against her,
programming.
place in the world, if you will. And I'd like to believe that I do that too.
Yep.
Good for you.
So yeah, boobs and slapping. Let's go.
All right, good. I'm so happy with that question.
Yep. It was a good addition.
Yeah.
This was I don't know. This was solid. I know you wouldn't recommend it, but I think you still liked it.
Oh yeah, I still enjoyed it.
And I'm glad I watched it, and I think people who are interested in seeing like the beginnings of the TV show, I don't know, it wasn't that long, and I was intrigued the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was only $1 on Amazon.
Yeah. Hey,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Not paid.
Thanks, Matt.
I liked it, and I actually don't know how long it was, but it once again, just like last week, like it ended, and I was like, wait, no way, it's already over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it when it ended. You're like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's about it for this episode. Thanks for joining us. We'll be posting what our next movie will be on Twitter tomorrow, so head on over there and hit that follow button. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our handle for both is @themoviemillies. To find more great episodes, head on over to our website, www.millennials@the-movie-house. So until next time,
we're millennials.
And we'll see you at the movie house. Except for not really, because quarantine.
That was like a light chuckle.